everyone, happy Sunday or whatever day you're watching this. Happy that day. Just a little update on what's been going on with my treatment lately. So today's Sunday. On Wednesday I went to MD Anderson, and then straight after that I went to work for a few hours. Then I drove to Austin that night, and I went to a work conference on Thursday and Friday. And then Ryan came down Friday, and we spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday together before, just a little weekend getaway in Austin before the excitement of this week. So that was great. MD Anderson was a great experience. It was a super nice hospital, a lot bigger than what I was expecting. Honestly, it's the biggest hospital I've ever been to in my life. Super nice. So it reminded me of like a cruise on the inside, just very nice. It had reclining waiting room chairs. I had free cookies. Everything was great. So we were supposed to get there at about 8 o'clock. We were a little late because it was confusing trying to find the right entrance. Like I said, it's very huge, so it can be a little intimidating. Luckily, they do give you free valet on your first visit, so we went ahead and valeted our car anyways, but we asked and found out that to valet it just in general cost about, I think, $3 more than normal parking. So it's probably what we'll do for the next few times, just because we don't look like, or it doesn't look like I'll have to be going back too much. So I went in and basically kind of filled out some paperwork, met with like the finance person. Luckily, I'd done a lot of paperwork already on their app, so it was just confirming all the information that I put in. I did get there after the guy in front of me, but he hadn't filled out any of that paperwork, so I got called in before him and got to see my doctor before him because he was still filling out paperwork. So if you ever have to go, make sure you download the My Chart app and fill out all the questionnaires that they send you beforehand, because it really does help speed everything up. So once we got all that, I finally got to go back to a room and meet. First, I met the physician's assistant. He did a full skin check on me, even though I just had one with my dermatologist. Since they're the melanoma department, that's just their kind of procedure. So they went ahead and gave me a full skin check. He also said everything looks good. I told them about my biopsy for those 4 moles we removed, all came back non-melanoma. So we're just getting that faxed over to them, but they were excited about that. And then he went ahead and he drew a little circle with some arrows around my melanoma, and they took a picture of that, so that'll be their reference guide when I go in for my little procedure. Then after that, the oncologist came in, and she was super great. Dr. Jennifer Wargo is my oncologist, and I really, really was happy with her. That's kind of why I've been holding out for her so long, because I knew she would be a good doctor, and she lived up to my expectations. She basically told me, based off what I told her about how my melanoma changed, based off my biopsy report, that it showed some regression. That's a great sign. Basically, it means my immune system had already started attacking the melanoma, which is great. So that means it's already it managed it from going too deep or anything. If for any reason in the future it comes back, my body already apparently is good at recognizing melanoma and starting to attack it. So that's a great sign for just my overall prognosis. She said that she thinks I'm pretty young, I'm pretty healthy, and she thinks there's a very low chance that it will come back. So I was super grateful about that, because that's always been in the back of my mind of, what if it's fine this time, but it comes back later and it's not next time. But she said everything looks great, especially because, my body had been attacking it. And she said also that it looks like the tumor was smaller than we originally thought. So it did go pretty deep, but she said the tumor itself was about 1 millimeter smaller, and then it had just like a little tail. So the full tumor itself wasn't as deep as I was originally thinking, which made me feel a lot better, because that's one thing I was always worried about, because from everything I've read, the deeper the tumor, kind of the more challenging sometimes it can be. But in this case, it looks like I'm actually doing pretty well. But they're still going to do the the surgery and the lymph node testing just to be safe, just because I'm on that borderline where they do take that extra precaution, which I'm all about. I'd rather have just a little incision and a scar for the rest of my life and have that peace of mind knowing, my lymph nodes are fine. So that's the plan. That's what we're doing tomorrow, actually. But so yeah, I saw the oncologist. We talked for a little bit. She was very reassuring. It made me feel really comfortable. My boyfriend Ryan went, and he definitely feels more comfortable after talking to her. I think he kind of left there with a big sigh of relief. So we're feeling a lot better about our whole situation overall, and a lot more optimistic. Thankfully, as we were leaving, one of her nurses caught us and she was like, hey, little tip, you know, if you do go to MD Anderson, you don't necessarily have to follow the order that things are in unless they're set in stone. So she was explaining to us I was supposed to go right after and get an x-ray, then get blood work, and then go to my anesthesia appointment. But the blood work was actually on the same side of the hospital as I was already in, and the x-ray and the anesthesia were in the same area. So she was like, hey, just go get blood work now, then go over and to the other area and get the other stuff. So I was very grateful that she gave us that tip. If you ever have to go to MD Anderson, keep that in mind. Talk to your nurses to see time-wise if you can save some time from going back and forth, you know, if you can rearrange your schedule. So that's what we did. The blood work was super fast. They had a lot of people, so they were getting us in really quickly. They give you this wristband, so you just kind of like scan it in and go in. But that was the hardest part, because up until then, you know, the melanoma unit, the other people in the waiting room seemed fine. A lot were older. The one guy was about in his 30s. Everyone else was, I mean, definitely past retirement age. So it was just kind of weird. I didn't feel like I belonged. I was super young. But then when we got to the blood work, that's when it started to hit me, you know, looking around, and there was people who had like a PICC line, you know, to do their blood work, like so that they didn't have to get stuck, because they've just, you know, been there for so long that they have a PICC line, you know. And there's people, I saw a girl, you know, like and they just don't have hair because, you know, they have a more aggressive kind of cancer. They have to have a more aggressive kind of treatment, and it was just scary, you know, to be surrounded by people who are fighting this a lot harder than I have to at this moment. And it made me grateful for the position that I'm in, but I felt just like, you know, people have told me I'm so sorry. I felt like telling them, like, I'm so sorry, like, this sucks, like, I wish we could, you know, you could have my cancer too, because mine's a lot easier. That was really hard. And then I saw people, you know, who had the masks because, you know, their immune system's really low. And then when I was after the x-rays, we went to the or after the blood work, then we went to the x-rays, and then after the x-rays we went to, and the x-rays were really quick, by the way, like I was there probably 5 minutes, so that was great. The anesthesia took a long, and I think I said the blood work, we were there for about 10 minutes. The anesthesia took a long time just because the waiting room was packed, and so we were there with a lot of other people, and I had a lot more time just to kind of people watch. And they give you this wristband when you check in, and they scan it everywhere you go, so they make sure you're getting the right treatment. Okay, just had to check to make sure. I already recorded this, and I accidentally hit something on my watch and stopped it, so I was just checking, sorry. But yeah, so I was looking around, and while I was waiting, because the waiting room was packed, and you know, everyone else who's there has those wristbands, and it was crazy just like looking at them and being like, I realized, you know, every single person at that hospital that has the wristband that's a patient has cancer. You know, it's not just like a normal hospital where you're like, oh, you know, maybe they just have like a flu or something small. It's like, it's an uncomfortable feeling realizing like, everyone has cancer. And then, like I said, like you see the people without the hair, with the face masks, you know, very frail, some people looking not good, and you're just like it hits you, you know, like, I'm fortunate to be in the position that I am, and I'm just so grateful that my cancer looks like it's a lot better than what I was worried about. You know, I'm so grateful for everyone that's been praying for me, keeping me in their thoughts. It's really very comforting, and it feels like, so far, it feels like an answered prayer, just based off what my doctor told me. I mean, we won't know for sure till after the surgery, after we get the biopsy reports, but I'm in a very optimistic mood, and I just want to thank everyone for reaching out to me, messaging me, texting me, reaching out to my mom. My mom's super grateful for everyone that's come out and told her, you know, like, oh, I had melanoma actually, or, you know, a family member did. It makes me super glad that I actually, you know, started making these videos, because I didn't know a lot of these people that I know them. I just didn't know they had melanoma. And when they went through it, God knows who else had already had it, that they could have got the same resources that I did. So, you know, I know it's a very personal decision whether to put it out there online or not, but you never know. People come out of the woodwork and have very useful and helpful information. So my advice would be, if you're not sure, just go ahead and tell people. I know you can feel like, I initially didn't want to, because I didn't want it to feel like I was just trying to be like, oh, look at me or whatever, get attention or get pity. But the real reason why I just decided to share it is because I couldn't find resources for me of what to expect, and so I wanted to make sure if anyone that I knew or even anyone I don't know needs some resources, that I could be there and I could like live stream it for y'all about what to expect, and I hope that I've been able to do that. That was a little tangent, sorry about that. But anyway, so back on track. So we had the anesthesia wait time was forever. I think we were there about an hour, but then the appointment itself was, again, like maybe 2 minutes, because I'd already filled out everything online. It was just confirming, and then she gave me my surgery information. That was it. It was kind of weird. So first a nurse called me back. All she did was check my oxygen level and measure my neck size. And then I went back into the waiting room and then waited for another nurse who came in and like gave me all that information, because you don't meet the anesthesiologist until right before your surgery, which I'm fine with. You know, I'll talk to him again and he doesn't need to do all that stuff. So that was that. And we were there. So we got there about 8 o'clock. We were supposed to get there by 8, but that was fine. And we didn't leave until about 1. So it was a very long day. I'm glad I brought a little protein bar, because the cookies were nice, but then I got hungry again. So if you ever go, yeah, what they say, pack snacks. Actually, a good tip that I've kind of realized is, if you ever want to like search stuff, you know, you can't find really like cute doctor's outfits or, you know, what to pack to go to your doctor's. A lot of that stuff isn't useful. A lot of it's for like maternity stuff. So, you know, you don't need to pack your baby or your birth plan, you know, with you when you go to the hospital. But instead, if you're ever on Pinterest or Instagram wanting to get some ideas about, you know, what to dress, what to take with you, just look for long flights, because it's just like it, you know. You're going to be sitting for a long time in a flight, so you want to wear comfortable pants. Same thing at a doctor's. It's going to be cold on a flight, so you're going to want to wear like a jacket or a cardigan, for sure long sleeves. Same thing at a doctor's. Just make sure, you know, if they are taking blood work, that you be able to roll up your sleeves. Definitely bring socks, because I had to take off my shoes at one point. My feet got freezing. You know, same thing as, you know, bring something entertainment like a book or an iPad. You know, if you want to get comfortable, you can bring a blanket. That's totally fine. I saw a lot of people with blankets, especially at a cancer hospital. I don't think, or any hospital, I don't think anyone like questions if you have a blanket. They're like, well, sick people need blankets, so bring you a blanket if you want, or a little neck pillow. Definitely bring snacks, bring water. MD Anderson does have little water machines, but they're literally 6-ounce cups. So if you drink a lot of water like I do, you'll be going through them a lot. Next time I'm definitely going to bring a full-on water bottle. Just some tips if you ever go in there, either for yourself or as you're accompanying someone, you know, you're being a friend. You know, just look up what to do for a long flight, because it's basically the same thing. And so that was it. So tomorrow I will have my lymph node mapping, and then the day after that I'll have surgery, and then hopefully, like I said, we'll be good. All hopes are that the biopsy report's gonna come back normal, and my goal of being cancer-free by 27 just actually might come true. So that's all I got for you guys. I'll probably have another video up pretty soon, since I'll have that other procedure tomorrow, and I'll keep y'all updated in case anyone's going through this as well. Just know, you know, you can always reach out to me, and I'll try to help you the best that I can with the very limited knowledge that I have so far. But thanks everybody, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.